Okay, this is the second game. You were black in this game, so let's look at it from your side. It was against Apollo77, who had a rating of 887, and your rating was 903 at the time this game was played on the 11th of June 2023.
Yeah.
And your opponent played e4. Most of your opponents, I always see e4 openings, a lot of them. There's hardly any d4 played at your level, which I find remarkable.
Yeah.
e5, bishop c4, knight f6, queen f3. Well, it's okay. It's not a terrible move, but it is standing on the natural square of the knight. So from that point of view, it's not the best move. You just develop. Knight e2, castling, all very good play. Knight b to c3, knight c6, knight d5. Okay, here's my first comment. You played bishop e7. And why am I not jumping up and down with joy about this move?
Because I've played with the same piece twice.
Yeah, exactly. I do understand it though, and it's not a bad move. But yeah, ideally I'd like to avoid it. I guess what you were afraid of is that he would take on f6
Yeah.
and then damage your pawn structure. So let's look at a line. So let's not play with the same piece twice, but let's look at an example line. So let's say if you play d6 to get this guy into the game, then you might have been afraid of knight takes f6 check, queen takes, and g takes. Would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it is true, it has damaged your pawn structure around your king, but there's one reason that it's not such a big deal in this case, and that is that the queens are off the board.
Yeah.
You don't want an unsafe king as a general rule when there is lots of material on the board, especially the queens. The queens are off, which means that the king will feel a little bit more comfortable with the shattered pawn structure in front of him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is okay. This is playable for black, and yeah, you're ready to develop your last piece, and he still has a piece there and the king in the middle. So you have a bit of an advantage in development, and he has an advantage that his pawn structure is better than yours. So it's equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's d6 here is playable. Bishop e7 is also playable. There's nothing bad about it, but as I said, if you don't have to play twice with the same piece in the opening, then try to avoid it. d3, and here knight a5. Harassing the bishop on c4. Again, for the same reason, I would probably prefer to play something like d6 and get the last bishop into the game instead of playing with the same piece twice. Okay, no harm done. Knight a5, bishop b5. He wants to save that bishop. And now a nice little fork.
Nice.
Nice. Although in this case, it doesn't win a piece because he can. Yeah. Well, okay. Maybe. Do you see how white can avoid losing a piece?
Yeah, you can take the knight on f6 through check.
Yeah, exactly. So either knight takes f6 check or knight takes e7 check. Both get swaps a piece, and then he can save his bishop when you recapture. That's what he did. He played knight takes f6 check, bishop takes, and now he saves his bishop. So it was a fork, but there was a way out, and that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
This move I like, d5. Putting another pawn in the center, opening up the line for your bishop on c8. That's a real chess move. It's not, it's not brilliant. It's not winning. It's not absolutely amazing, but it's a move. It's a real chess move, a proper move,
And my question is if he didn't take for whatever reason, do I take on e4?
Well, he didn't take. So let's look at the
or
game.
Not because it's
he castled.
doubling.
Yeah, no, you anticipated my next point because maybe you can try and answer your own question. Should you take on e4 here or play something else? He castled.
Pawn to d4.
Say again?
Pawn to d4.
Pawn to d4, yeah. That's a move. What else is a candidate move here.
Bishop to g4. No, apologies. Pawn to b5.
Yeah, pawn b5 is possible, picking the bishop again. What about completing your development?
Bishop to. Well, I've got options to d7. No, e6. I'd pick e6.
I pick e6 too. You know, centralizing the bishop. Everybody's happy. Yeah, that's probably the first move you have to look at. If you're not happy with it for some reason, then you can look at other moves. But bishop e6, completing development. Again, it's not a brilliant move. It's not winning you the game, but it's proper chess, making sure all your pieces get developed.
Yeah.
And that's why I made this comment here, because d takes e4, again, doesn't do anything bad. But we talked about when should you swap pieces? Well, either when it's forced or when it's fabulous. And if not, then it's the third F, then you should forget about it. So in this case, it's not forced to take on e4. It's not really fabulous. It doesn't give you a lot. So then you should forget about it and look for another move. And bishop e6 is a real nice move, developing your last undeveloped light minor piece. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So he recaptured, and now you play bishop e6. No harm done. It's all fine.
Yeah.
b4, kicking your knight. Went to c4, and bishop b3. And you played b5. I like that move. It's anchoring the knight on that square. And knights like to be on squares where they cannot be harassed by pawns. So it's a and b5 anchors it a bit. So this pawn might become weak. You never know. So b5 is a nice move. He decided to swap. And do you remember how you recaptured? And well, how would you recapture here? What is the best way to recapture?
I would recapture with the bishop taking on c4.
Yeah. And why do you prefer that over taking with the pawn on c4?
Because it's doubling my pawns.
Yeah, exactly. So in the game you played b takes c4, but you just answered your question that taking with the bishop is more harmonious.
I think I've got bipolar because I'm a completely different man to when I play on game.
Maybe that should be the title of this video or of the video of this game. I think I've become bipolar. Well, maybe not.
I'm a Dr. Jekyll Hyde because I don't know what I'm doing now in the game, but here I'm all right. Well, I answered more than not right.
I didn't check this out, but I have a feeling that you might have taken that bishop within 2 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, no harm done. It's just a bit of a pity to have your pawns structure like that. So you could have it nicer. Bishop a3, that's a bit of an odd move, standing behind that pawn, but he has an idea about it. Rook b8 I like. Rooks like open files. And now we see the point of bishop a3, you played b5. Attacking your rook on f8, and suddenly it makes sense. You could have played the rook away, but you played bishop e7, which is also fine. He took, he recapture, and he took on c6. Okay, he wins a pawn, but that is a very weak pawn. You're going to get it back. And you played a rook to c8 here. Which rook is the best rook to play to c8?
The f8.
And why?
Just developing it.
Yeah, exactly. This rook is happy, has an open file. Oh, excuse me. I was going to draw an arrow. So rook f to c8 to pick up this guy, and this rook is still there. Okay, Jekyll Hyde again, because you played the other rook. Again, no harm done. You can also argue that this rook wants to go on this file. I completely would have no problem with that. But yeah, you need to collect that pawn on c6 before it becomes strong. Rook a b1, and you pick the pawn. Knight c3, and rook a6. Attacking the weak a2 pawn, even though it's protected for the moment, but might come in handy later. Knight b5. So, well, that drops the pawn. Thank you very much. Taking a pawn. And now he played an absolutely horrific move. He played c3. And there's something tactically wrong with that move. And do you found it? See if you can remember or see it now.
All right, have we got any checks? No. Let me try and put something together here. Have we got any captures? No. Can I make an attack? Oh, I can't see Rick. I can't believe I saw it then.
Well, you can make an attack. What?
Now, can I move the bishop to d7?
Yeah.
Hold on. No, hold on. Rook to b8.
Yeah. But the knight is protected, right? By the rook on b1. Attack it. You can attack it with a lower value piece.
And a6.
Exactly. You found it in the game. a6. Yeah. Checkmating the knight. In the previous game, we saw how you could have checkmated the queen, and now you're checkmating the knight. The knight has no squares.
So everything I did right in the game, I can't answer. Everything I did wrong in the game, I answer. It's ridiculous.
No, not really. But yeah, well, it's great that you found that move. I don't know if you saw that the knight was checkmated, but if you did, then it's really nice. It's a nice little pawn move, and the knight has no squares. Yeah, it's dangerous to get your. The knight is a little bit lonely there. You're asking for trouble if you're. It's just you have to make sure you coordinate your pieces, and this knight is not coordinated with the rest of white's pieces. That's why it's going to be lost.
I'll be honest, like I am starting to look at if I can trap pieces in my games now.
Yeah. Well, this is a good example, and you did it here, so fair play. Queen d1. Yeah. Thank you very much for the piece, and now your piece up.
Piece up.
Yeah, and he could, of course, take the pawn. Rook takes b5, at least get a pawn for his trouble, but he didn't do that. He played rook a1. And now you are trading down. When you're ahead, trade down. Rook takes a1, queen takes a1. And you went for the attack. Queen g5.
No.
I like it. Queen b1. And now you do what your opponent did in the previous game. And you were a little bit upset about that. But there was no need to be upset, remember, because you had this knight e1 to protect the g2 square in that game.
I think the reason why I was upset there and not here is like, we've had a bit of moves. Like, what move is this into the game?
27.
So 27. He's blundered a piece. I found a tap. We were actually in like if this was boxing, we're in the fifth round. Like, but with the previous game, I feel like okay, I didn't see that knight move, but I feel like I was doing everything right. And for me, a novice, you can still feel a bit like wow, the queen's out, the bishop's out. Okay, they're planning something, and it was a bit like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, but here there's no way out.
Yeah, I think this is fair. Where with that, I don't think. Well, of course it's fair because I could get away. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk, but I feel like you develop. I was trying to follow my developed principles, and the queen can still come out of nowhere and heat things up a bit.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Completely understand, and it makes sense. But yeah, Nijit's extremely strong because now he doesn't have a saving move. He cannot protect g2. None of his pieces can protect g2, so he has to give the exchange now. So g3, the same move that you made in the previous game. And now, thank you very much. I'll take the material, and black has a rook up.
I've got my confidence back.
Rook d8. I like it. Let's make sure we play with all our pieces. h4. Okay, you kick my queen. No problem. I go to h5. King g2. And another checkmate of the queen. This is... we saw a queen checkmate. We saw a queen checkmate in the previous game, and now we saw a knight checkmate and another queen checkmate.
So I played rook to d1.
You certainly did.
Yes. Here we go. I'm walking up.
Queen can't go anywhere. He took, and here he is a full queen down, so he resigned.
Oh, what a game.
Yeah, this was an excellent game. Yeah, this was very good. All we talked about as areas for improvement of your plays is little bits like developing instead of retreating.
Yeah.
Maybe not, maybe only capturing if it's forced or fabulous. But
Mm.
those are small things. You played an excellent game here, and some nice tactics to trap the knight and then trap the queen.
Yes. Brilliant.
And that was an opponent with 887, and you took him to the cleaners.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anything else in this game?
No, thank you.
All right, well played.
Thanks.